I think I'll beat Claire tomorrow.
It's going to be a banger. All right, back to the couch.
I love when it's not just team v team. It's calling out a fellow player and going, I'm going to take you down.
I think that's the closest Ryoma has ever come to trash talking someone. Like, I will beat him. I agree. I think like he's in great form at the moment. Like he's like when he plays well, he's such an exciting player to watch. I remember when he was dancing around on Sin on things like Zed. Like it was even fun to watch back then. And it is a pretty cool mid lane meta at the moment. I think the fact
pretty
that
open.
Yeah, and like eventually they're going to remove Aftershock. And it's going to get even better.
Yeah.
And that's
then
just a line
Zed
at
can
the tunnel.
maybe exist again.
Maybe.
Who knows?
And maybe Tommy can just blind Claire with his Gucci buckles, and then Claire won't be able to play the game at all.
You got the Gucci belt on.
It is time to fall in love.
Okay.
Oh.
So we've got a lot.
Oh, is this pickup lines?
This is pickup lines. User submitted pickup lines. Now, I feel like we need to rate it on 2 scales. We need to...
Your feet aren't that much bigger than mine.
This is a,
Jake just started lining up. You got tiny feet, bro. Come on.
They are not that much. You have like an inch on my foot. And you're like 5 inches taller than me. If anything, you have small feet proportionally.
What size are your feet?
I refuse to answer that question on television. No, it depends what kind of shoes. It depends what kind of shoes. What are they? What
Please
size are these?
continue with your arranged segment and stop letting him derail it.
Go.
I realize this is me saying this. What the hell are you guys talking about? It's time to talk about something serious, and that is pickup lines for League of Legends characters submitted by you, awful Twitch chat viewers. We're rating this on
degenerates.
Such degenerates.
Salt of the earth.
2 scales. 1, the charm scale.
Okay.
1 out of 5.
Okay.
1 to 5.
We'll call that one the Rakan scale.
Rakan scale. The second scale, the creep factor.
Yeah.
We call that the Bryce scale.
What? Come on, bro.
You got a dead smile.
A dead smile.
And so you have the
I feel
charm.
like you're the creepy one.
The Rakan and the Bryce.
You're the tall guy who's always wearing the jacket. Like, who knows what you got under there? You got your bloody... I don't know. You just...
It's a body, for those that are wondering at home.
This is the lanky, creepy guy who's in like a hood at the end of the bloody alley.
I think he looks
That's
scarier
you.
when he's dressed up like Uncle Sam. That picture had me like terrified.
Yeah, that's a hell of a picture. I'm scared of that picture, and I know who's in it. So there's the charm factor, and there's the creep scale.
Yeah.
Or the charm scale and the creep factor, whatever it is. Let's start them off. Now, it pains me to do this, but we're starting with Dash BB, because I thought we should actually start strong, and this one is a pretty good one, I think. Are you a skill shot? Because I miss you all the time. It's pretty nice.
That's charming, and that's also like negging yourself.
I thought that was going in a very different direction. But I'm not going to say where.
This is why you're the creepy one.
Bonus points for
Bryce, I know where you're going, and I really want to hear it. I want you to say it.
So Dash BB, well done.
Charming.
Charming. Very charming. You know what? You could stand to learn a little of that in your behavior in Twitch chat. You know, take some of the lovely Dash that we see here, apply it to the person that you are
King
online.
Degenerate.
Yeah,
King Degenerate.
Number 2, Unibar. If you're a ward, I would always place you inside my heart.
That's wholesome. That's very wholesome.
Very wholesome.
He did write
Also,
you.
but just a lie, because no one in Twitch chat has ever bought a ward, placed a ward. Like, the only time I see Twitch chat ever buy wards is when they've like lost the game. They sell all their items and they just spam them in their nexus.
Are you saying no supports watch Twitch?
I'm saying that even the supports that do watch Twitch don't buy wards.
I played a couple of games of League earlier in the week. I was playing as support. I did not buy wards.
Or the other thing
I
they
got
do
totally flamed.
is they get their support item upgraded. They might even upgrade it the whole way. They have 4 wards, then they keep yellow totem. And I'm like, I still don't know what's going on
You
here.
got too many wards and none of them are placed.
I forgot there were wards in the game.
I
No, I didn't really. I was just very distracted.
What item did you start with? You can just say the yellow one, the blue one, or the green one if you like.
Or you can
The
say
yellow
Doran's
The
ring.
yellow one.
Yeah.
Okay, you.
I don't know. It could have been the green one. Who cares? A lexicon. At my level, no one cares about
You
how
should
well
go
we
Doran
play.
Shield.
A lexicon 13. Oh, by the way, I just want to say that last one. Tiny bit creepy because there's a medicinal aspect.
It places
Like a
you in
ward
my- in-
inside
in
the
my
heart.
heart, yeah.
Not happy with that. Lexicon 13. Are you a Mastery 7 Yasuo? Because I'd love to feed you all day long.
I feel like you could have said because I'd love to show you off all the time. Because those Mastery 7
That's
Yasuos
good.
just
Yeah.
flashing all the time. Not
Yeah.
that kind of
Q
flash.
lanes in lane.
Up the right like pattern. Definitely.
But this also has, I'd love to feed you all day long.
Yeah,
It's a
kind
little
of
weird.
creepy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to kink shame, but it's a little strange.
I'm going to say that is like a 7 on the Bryce scale.
Yeah.
The Bryce scale only goes to 5.
I know, that's how creepy it is. Puno1 says, will you be the Aurelia to my patch 8.7? You're going to have to help me out with this one.
That must, I don't know what patch 8.7 was. That must just be a patch where Aurelia is busted.
Yeah,
Like, is that rework?
maybe.
Is that like when she got reworked and she was just the coolest thing
I
in the
believe
world?
so. They followed up with something along the lines of like, please roll her back or please like fix it or
'cause she
something.
just got
Yeah,
boomed this patch.
Yeah,
So this
there you
wasn't
go.
really a pickup line. This was like a coded cry for like nerfs.
Something like that, yeah. That's probably what it was. Adjacent World, are you a Darius main? Because you can dunk me anytime. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good
I like
one.
that.
You like
Good
that
one.
because you're a Darius main.
No, I'm not. I've never played Darius in my life.
Oh, no.
I'm a Garen
You're
man.
a Garen man,
I am the
not
hard
Darius.
counter to Darius.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. You can still dunk Jake, though. That's fine.
Are you-
Benji
did you-
Ose, you make my heart fizz. Or are you Silas? Because you just stole my heart.
I like that one. That's
That's
wholesome.
good, too.
That's very
That's
wholesome.
good.
No, I don't like that one.
You don't like that one?
No, you should give it back. Theft in any situation. Not good.
That's such low-hanging fruit.
Ose Carbon, Tim himself.
I know what this
Ah,
one
get
is.
it off.
Yeah.
He just says, hey.
That's pretty good one.
And that's enough.
Hey.
yeah, that's
pretty
that's
good.
I actually, knowing Carbon,
That's winning so far.
I'd probably go on with him.
That's well, knowing Carbon, I'm going to need a little more than hey.
Can I also say, on the carbon train, also on the ward train we were talking about before, in our legacy, someone pointed it out on Twitter, I forget who, so I can't credit them, but in their team huddle is like, boys, if you buy a ward, like if you buy a pink, just place it. Like actually place it. So, you know what I mean? It's relevant. I like that.
And you went home with him twice a week anyway, Spawn, when you were up here last year, didn't you?
That is true.
All right.
Yeah.
Learning lots.
He has a comfortable hallway.
Unfortunately, we have to come back to Dash BB
Ah, yeah.
because they just keep giving the goods, I guess.
They, is it a,
There's
What?
2.
they, there's Dash BB is like that #1 RuneScape player from years ago, Zezima, that was just like apparently 7 different people.
Yeah,
That's
possibly.
Dash BB.
But also, I don't know if Dash is a man or a woman, so
Yeah.
that's the other reason.
okay.
But I like the idea that there's 7 of them. Dash BB says, "Let me give you a hug," quote Amumu, and then 6 sad emojis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I picture him saying this crying.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Creepy scale.
That's way off the creepy scale.
Zoom in.
Yeah, that's no good at all.
Depends if he's sobbing as well, because that really puts it up there.
He's looking for
like,
the,
if it's a silent cry, that's one thing. If
Yeah.
it is a, like, racking sob,
But what if they're looking someone? What if they're talking to someone who likes fixing their partners?
yeah.
you know what I mean.
He's definitely looking for a pity date.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's aiming pretty low,
Yeah.
and like maybe he can achieve that.
Yeah.
That could be successful.
Well,
Success scale 5 out of 5. Creepy scale still way up there.
yeah, and you heard it here, Dash BB. If you aim really low, you could achieve that. This is easy mode. Who needs a map? Me, because I get lost in your eyes.
Oh, okay.
That's really cute.
That's just a legit
That's
one.
that's
Yeah,
like
that's
that's like
yeah.
Disney levels of like
Well, the reason this works as well is you don't have to know about League of Legends for this to be something that you hear
Yeah.
and immediately turn away and walk away from. But at least you recognized it was a pickup line. If someone came up to me and said, "Are you a Darius main because you could dunk me anytime?" I'd be like, "Sorry, I don't watch the NBL."
no one watches the NBL.
That's the fun part. Particularly Bryce. The NBL is actually the cricket league.
Oh yeah.
So
You played at the Nets.
The most upsetting thing. I played cricket and basketball. I play both those sports.
did you play them at the same time, and that's why you got
That's a
confused?
humble
Yes.
brag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me, I played all the sports.
What do you mean? What sports did you play?
I didn't do sport.
Oh.
I'm a geek. That's
Okay.
not true at all. I play basketball.
You
I was
played
gonna say,
sports.
You listen to 15-hour podcasts all the time. That's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
They're 5 hours.
All right, no kink shaming. Okay. Set track, set track the bus dog. You know who you are. You've been complaining in chat this entire segment that I'm not reading your comments out because I hate you.
He's
That
been
is true, but here's one of your comments.
He's also been complaining for years. He's been around OPL for bloody years, and he's been complaining in LoL, complaining in Twitch chat. He's got a lot of complaining to do.
Yeah. One
Please
of these
continue.
degenerates? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? Yeah. Do you want to come back to my base and check out my needlessly large rod?
Oh,
There you go.
creepy scale.
I can't believe we just said that on broadcast.
It's a thing.
He's also, yeah.
It's
All
a
right.
thing.
well there was
Way
a
off the
floor.
creepy scale.
We found it.
Way off the creepy stuff.
I thought
Like,
like
we
that
were-
is when you kick through the bin to like look for something underneath.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. We got to show the floor to show where the good ones
We've
are.
gone from nips on stream last week to needlessly large
that
rods.
The great thing is, this is the viewers. None of this is
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
This is you guys. Finally, Fedora the Explorer, you must be misfortunate because it seems like I have taken a sip from the love tap.
Oh,
That's not bad.
that's my favorite.
That's not bad.
I like that.
That's not a bad. That's not a
Yeah,
bad
that's a
one.
champion. That's an
not a bad
ability name, and it all makes sense.
And it's a pun.
it's not that creepy.
It ties together. It's not that creepy. All right.
The whole package.
I feel like that was a winner.
Yeah,
Do
that
we-
one won.
We ended strong. Fedora the Explorer.
yeah, banger.
You want to know the hilarious thing about this?
What?
The hilarious thing about this? Fedora the Explorer
Was the nips.
was the
it?
nips.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god.
They've lost.
How did this happen?
This is
That's
why
so
I don't
good.
like doing these segments. It just actually destroys my faith in humanity.
It's like how can 1 week you terrify the soul of the cast and then the next week
now
be
all
like,
I can picture
that's
is-
really charming.
He's a prodigy.
Yeah, I just have the picture in my head now, and no matter what you say, if that is the picture,
You just go
The
that
creep
picture
scale
with
goes up
that
a little bit,
line
yeah.
joined together. Oh, Fedora, you won! Congratulations!
You've bloody done it.
And we're gonna give runners-up prizes to. I feel like Dash BB needs one for Are You a Skill Shot?
yeah, that
Yeah,
was fun.
that was pretty good.
Ezreal, who needs a map?
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Lost in your eyes.
That was good too. And we want one more, and that's gonna go to. Oh, I heard an echo.
Yeah.
Let's give it to a Lexicon 13. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much for submitting your league-flavored pickup lines. May you go out and prosper in love, hopefully by saying not these. I would take Tim's advice, just say hey. All right, it's time for the next game. Mammoth versus Chiefs.
Yeah.
This,
Banger.
speaking of banging, my goodness, this should be a good one.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Mammoth trying to get their season back on track, and Chiefs probably looking to shut them down here.
I would say that Mammoth took the first step to getting their season back on track when they like ended last week in like an absolute bulldozer of a game. Like they just ran over their opponents in that one. So I think that the like potential for this team to like start the uphill climb is very high. What I was surprised about, and I want to get your opinion on this, right? Because obviously it was my team. But they came out and Richard said they expected to beat Order. Like on the desk, they said, we really expected to beat Order. Like we think we're a much better team. It kind of seems that they are getting caught between like, they obviously think they're a great team, but they're not playing great. Like surely that has to at a point have an impact on your mentality.
Well, yeah, like yes, absolutely. I think it already has, right? Like that amounts to pressure when there's a disconnect between where you think you are and where you actually are. Because the longer that goes on, the longer the disconnect between those two thoughts exists, the more you question it. The more you're just like, oh, am I like that good? Like every subsequent week that you're not winning games that you feel like you should be winning, like that is genuinely just more and more pressure packed onto a team full of genuine superstars that aren't performing.
Because they have the opposite problem that most teams get in their OPL careers. Normally when you're good, people tell you you're good, and then every other team thinks they're good, but they just have shoutcasters, a la me, saying, you're not that good. Like, I don't know how you're going to win this game. You don't have enough tools. All those kinds of things where they've got like very little wins on the board so far. I think they have 3 at this stage, something like that.
We have it.
And yet they have so many tools to win the game.
Yeah.
So like, I think this is a really unique situation for these players to have to battle through because I think that like mentality-wise, this is quite possibly one of the most unique things I've ever seen in League of Legends.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we referenced this on broadcast or not, but it's a bit like the Pro Bowl game in the NFL or
Yeah.
like the All-Star Basketballs game where you go so many amazing players, so much potential, but when you put together, there's just something that's not
It
clear.
was like when Allen Iverson joined the Denver Nuggets, and he and Carmelo Anthony averaged like 39 and 37 points, and the rest of the team collectively like had like 9.
Yeah.
Like just no one on that team was getting an assist. Everyone was running ISO plays. They traded Allen Iverson like 3 weeks into the experiment. It was a disaster.
I remember
understand
that
all
year,
these
actually.
references.
Oh, it's
You
about-
said you like
No, I
basketball.
know who both
It's
of them
about the
are, but
ashes.
I don't actually follow it.
Now, before we throw it back to the desk, we do, of course, need to check in on Pyra's love matching.
Ooh.
And the final match of the day for him is
I reckon
with
it's
Rusty.
99.
You reckon it's 99?
I reckon.
Just
That'd be a
saying that.
spanner.
You just want to be more matched.
I would be very excited if it was 99. Let's find out now.
Boom.
Oh,
Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
What?
66%. 2 out of 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, a
Quick
Meatloaf
math,
reference,
Rusty.
which I appreciate a lot. Meatloaf, great band.
Boom.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Rusty, go.
Cool.
Meatloaf was the captain of the Australian cricket team.
My auntie, what? No, my auntie loves meatloaf. I know.
Yeah, okay, so I'll read through it. I am a Cancer, for the record, so you'll find me in your local solo queue game. When Cancer and Capricorn make a love match, it's a celestial pairing of great tenacity and determination. Both are initiatory, active, and ardent. Though this can be a catalyst for some dynamite conflicts, it can provide Capricorn with an emotional pillar, as Cancer is entirely dedicated to the relationship.
This is the most League of Legends-y one we've had. Ardent, Catalyst, Cancer in solo queue, with tenacity.
I want
Rusty
everyone
is
in
like
solo
very
queue
League
to
of
know that
Legends.
you're not Cancer, and if anyone calls you that, report them.
Absolutely.
Agree. Rusty, how do you feel, man? How you feeling about your odds?
Yeah, look, I mean, if anyone else isn't Cancer, I know that I'm Cancer, so like that's just the way it is, and we move on.
Yeah. You're a very pragmatic person about these things.
I just say it how it is, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
last week I drilled Swiper. This week,
The most
there's
intense session
there's
of his
just
life.
Yeah, it was. Swiper did confirm that on social
Yeah.
while we're here as well.
That was good. I'm glad.
Can we talk about
I
the
was
game?
tempted to pick it out of the top tweets, but I didn't. So yeah, let's talk about this game because they said on the couch it was going to be a banger. Chiefs are the top team currently in the OPL. If they keep
Yes.
on winning, they'll still have that tiebreaker going into tomorrow. Mammoth have started the climb back. What do they need to keep doing?
They need to keep climbing, first of all, but
Ah!
this is not the game where you would say, like, they can just keep the climb going, build the momentum. This is one of those really big roadblocks in the way of that momentum building emotionally for the team. And, the couch mentioned this as well, momentum, emotional disdain. Like, how does this feel for the team coming into today? And how will it change even between these days? And we may have an opportunity to ask the coach about it later and see
Yes,
where
we
they're
will.
feeling coming into this.
Yeah, I think for Mammoth, if they don't win, they need to be able to pull something positive out of it to push forward. But if they do, that would be a real upending of things here. Now, we are in picks and bans. Lucian Lysandra off the board for Mammoth on the blue side. Alistair Urgot on the Chiefs. Catching back up, there's a Thresh ban away.
Yeah, Thresh taken off the board very early here as a ban. Not just a denial from Ayla, but perhaps leaving open some different champions in the pool, matching the Alistar that's gone as well.
Yeah,
Super
high prior
curious
champion
to
today,
see.
actually. The Thresh
Yeah,
has.
I mean, Thresh has been actually rising in priority a fair bit around the globe as well, not just in the OPL today. And I'd say no exception, knowing how good Ayla is on the pick, that they choose to ban that. But on blue side, we'll see where they go with their first pick priority. As with so many things that have changed, and the Chiefs matching support bans, taking 3 off the board, that may be the direction they start to go here. Or they could just go the Braum Karma route. We'll see where the Chiefs respond with.
Doesn't hurt. Starting with the Braum, a lot of supports have been very quickly snapped up today. So we have Destiny's champion. It's over to Chiefs for their own picks.
And Mammoth, when they were being exposed in some of the hurdles they've come across in the earlier weeks, supports were banned from them a lot. They were trying to force Destiny away from engaged champions, and this time around Mammoth have said, you will not be able to do that. We're going to pick support in our first 3 and not counter it, and you will not be able to try and expose us in any way in that area.
On Chiefs' side, they pick up the Karma very quickly, and it's fairly confirmed to not be a support pick. It should be going up to the top with Ayla getting the lock-in of the Rakan. So it's big swips on the Karma.
Yeah, now this Rakan lock-in is the most curious one you would see so far. I mean, we know that Raze is a fanatic of Xayah. He loves that champion. He'll probably play it till the day that he can't anymore. Ayla playing the Rakan complements that, and that does make you get that feeling, that that's the direction they're going to go. But will AD Carry be secured in their first 3 here, and they might keep the flex alive? For the Karma potentially going into other lanes is to be determined.
Could be. Looks like Mammoth are keen to lock in their bottom lane as well. Jinx has had another pick already today. Will it be locked in again? 10 seconds to decide. They don't need to do it, though, and instead it ends up being the Nocturne for Babbitt.
A lot of what we've seen at the moment with Nocturnes around the world is that if they have a Braum on the opposing side, it's actually a nightmare. He just presses R, your spell shield's gone, stuns come through, you just have a bad experience trying to assassinate people. This time around, the Braum is on his team, and there is still a lot of support on the other side of the Chiefs. So this Nocturne, already not knowing who the carriers of the Chiefs, still could be the Xayah, that is a hard lane to dive into. What it does provide, however, is the vision denial that just still does so much in team fights.
It looks like that Chiefs are going to prioritize picking a strong mid laner for Claire. The Rise gets picked up. Now the question is, do Mammoth opt to actually ban out the Xayah? I feel like it does make some sense here to try and deny that extra synergy.
Yeah, and the Rise locked in with the Syndra banned away by Chiefs. You may even see something like the LeBlanc taken away from Triple next. There's not a lot of things that... You don't get a lot of options with bans in the second phase, but by locking this Rise, you want to get rid of the worst of those options that Triple does have. Yasuo is also another one that is worth considering. Of course, there's not going to be a knock-up in the jungle role, but there is with the Braum and there is with the Scion already.
That's true. A little bit of synergy there. Some time taken. It's Kindred that's banned away by Mammoth, so they focus on jungle to start.
Similar thing applies, right? You pick the Nocturne, you ban away things that are good into it. Compositionally, if Kindred is next to the carry and just presses R, then you'll find that it's pretty hard to be a Nocturne in that situation, diving into them, right?
That's fair. Ezreal now banned out, so mid lane and a bottom laner, both banned by Chiefs in that second phase. Back over to Mammoth for the final ban away before we get into the next phase. Both teams have actually taken quite a lot of time. You know, sometimes you see teams that will go very quickly and just know exactly what they want to pick. And sometimes you see teams take their time, talk to the coach a little more.
And, you know, this is setting up for me to be, you know, potentially the jinx on either side of the Rift. I would say that the Chiefs with the Karma already locked in have got that potential through their draft, depending on where they go in the jungle. Now, Chiefs are on red side, so if they're going to pick the AD carry, hyper carry, they could do it here and show their hand, but that gives the counter to Mammoth through the bottom lane 2v2, maybe just not the comp.
Ooh, well, we might be getting a bit of a throwback for Raze instead. It's the Kai'Sa locked in.
Yeah,
I still might see the Jinx, though.
We may see it on the opposing side. Kai'Sa's a fairly low-ranged AD that wants to be hitting the spells, so you can try and outrange it. That is for certain a possibility. Ezreal gone, Lucian gone. So options are constricted just a little bit down in that bottom lane.
Ooh.
Now this may also be...
Back to, speaking of range.
I was going to say this could actually be in many different lanes still, however, if that was the lock-in.
Yeah,
but they're going to go for the
victor.
Zoe this time. Triple, one of the picks that he looked outstanding on throughout last week of the OPL. When he was able to play that Zoe, he was a hard carry for them and a large catalyst for their success.
Yeah, fair amount of catch potential there from Mammoth. Let's see how they round this one out. We've seen the Jinx flashed already, but it ends up being the Vayne for King.
All right, so we've got ourselves Vayne down in the bottom lane. We mentioned what Kai'Sa can do and how it's a fairly low-range champion. Vayne matches that range pretty similarly, but now it's a Braum against the Rakan down in that bot lane as well. And suddenly you find yourself with just a volatile lane in general, you would have to say, and only does get the opportunity here to look down there with the jungle, match what a Nocturne can do at 6 perhaps, maybe even get there earlier with the Kha'Zix, but Sejuani's going to be the name of the game. They pick a front line, they pick a tank that will match the Scion in the team fights. And we've got ourselves some pretty brawly compositions here.
We certainly do. I think this has been one of the big things that's come out of patch 9.3 so far is that a lot of teams, even the ones that weren't necessarily always opting into team fights, wanting to do a little bit more of that. Mammoth, pressure will be on this team, though, to put up a good showing, to keep the drive going. But against the top-ranked Chiefs, that will not be easy.
No, trying to topple the Chiefs is definitely a hard task for anyone to do. If Mammoth can do this now, then their momentum swing will be massive. They're 3-5 right now, rank 5 on the ladder as well, as you can see. But they've got some spice in their composition. King is a very good Vayne player. If you watched the OPL last year, you would know that when he picked it, he carried super hard. Does have that potential. We spoke about Triple on the Zoe as well. Topin's got the tank, and not only is King on the Vayne, he's with the Braum. And the thing you have to consider is that it's a Hail of Blades usually on Vayne now. That's a very quick stun. So suddenly their 2v2 actually grows in strength by a significant amount just from a rune change there. And the bottom actually could be even more volatile than you'd expect just in the 2v2, not even bringing junglers in.
No, I think that's fair. Yeah, well, you were talking junglers. I was thinking of like mid laners because look at who you've got in the form of the Zoe and a Ryze. I mean, those are both champions that can make a pretty quick run for it if they want to get down to the bottom. We could have ourselves a party in that bot lane.
Absolutely. Zoe loves the bottom lane. There's a lot of terrain, a lot of walls that you can use to hit those trouble bubbles, and the CC setup is available from Condemns, which is conveniently onto a wall that pins you down, and Braum with the stuns and the ultimate there.
Yep. All right, as we look to get underway here, we are joined by Coach Fantix. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. So to kick things off here, you know, it's patch 9.3. We've seen about half our games or a little bit more gone this Karma way. You guys obviously didn't pick it yourselves. How well prepared do you feel facing off against that 0 CS Frostomancy strat?
Yeah, we've had a lot of practice on it and against it because, as you guys know, it is the thing people have been doing on competitive this week. So yeah, we know what we're going into.
And speaking towards preparation as well, there is, obviously for you guys, you've been rebuilding as best you can, trying to get that upswing going for you. How is it for you as a coach balancing the learnings in preparation for games as well as the learnings in preparation for a patch?
I guess they're two different things. Patch is more, it's more of like a team effort. Everyone, this is our job, so we talk about the game a lot, and a lot of theories come in and come out. We talk about what's good, what we think is good at least, what we think is bad, and that pretty much, it's pretty much the conversations we have in everyday life. So, yeah, that's why it's separated.
Okay, fantastic. And I mean, with that as well, you're playing against the Chiefs. Is there any concerns coming into a game like this, or are you confident in your own preparation and planning going up against them?
We are confident in the draft we put together. And yeah, we don't really, we do consider what they're playing. We have played against a lot of similar comps in the week, so yeah, that shouldn't really be an issue.
So obviously there's a fairly big gulf between Chiefs and a lot of the teams in the OPL, and you guys are kind of building this climb back up. Do you feel like even if you don't end up winning this game, as long as you put in a good showing, you're still kind of on the right track, or do you actually you have to win this one even though it's tough?
I think I've said this earlier in previous interviews. I'm still not too concerned about the exact number of wins and losses we're sitting on. More focused on getting the team to the level we need to be at for playoffs.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Fantix, and good luck to the team for today.
Thank you very much.
Cool, cool. Starting things off, we've got ourselves a nice little quiet start. No shenanigans, which I think has probably been the big differentiating factor here, Rusty. Because every other game today, we've kind of had some cheeky level 1, some jungle invades, some fun stuff.
No shenanigans other than the draft.
Yeah, well, the draft itself, if that counts as shenanigans, we're stretching the envelope, my friend. But yes, it has been a little bit fun.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, so far, you'll just see pretty standard stuff. They've gone for a tank for only as well, someone who notoriously does love to carry if he can, but the composition needs what it does, and I've always said this about the Chiefs. We've watched a lot of their games now, 7-1 on the scoreboard. If there's one thing that they do very well, it's planning their drafts, preparing, and then executing on that preparation. That's something that you will see an abundance of. And if you ask me right now, this particular patch of cheesiness in 9.3 is so well suited to the Chiefs. And the reason for that is not only how versatile they are as a team, but the fact that they have so many wards to put down on Summoner's Rift. That is one big strength that the Chiefs have almost over every other team. And right now, they're looking to perhaps dive this.
Looking for Tapoon right now, only taking tower shots in the back. They will get first blood. He's forced to flash, though.
Oh, he dies.
And he goes down anyways. All the planning in the world can't really prep you for that kind of situation.
And Sion picks up the entire wave anyway, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, and yes, it does push the wave back. Karma does get an opportunity to push it in once again, maybe get some autos on the turret if he can, get some extra gold, but that's still just a 1-for-1 trade, and you take those if you're going to get the jungler gone down as well.
Caster Curse strikes, Rusty. Mammoth really, getting themselves... I almost would say they come out ahead on that one because they not only picked up that wave you're talking about, only was forced to flash.
Yeah, they got to summon a trade as well. It's very much an advantage of them. The teleport not being available for Tapoon, though, you have to remember, is the reason why they choose to make that play. They want to punish him even harder. If you use your teleport as level 1 as a Sion, and the Karma's playing the push and harass style of League of Legends, Karma is uniquely suited to pushing full stop. So she can still hit the turret and generate those Spell Thieves gold as Claire. He's feared.
Yeah, he's going to have to immediately cleanse. He also flashes, so a lot of early summoner spells burned by the Chiefs so far this game, only finding Babip on top of his Raptor camp. Tapoon's even making a come down here for it. So only gets kind of chased away. Sleepy
Claire can't
Trouble
recall.
Bubble is dodged.
This is a great start for Mammoth across the map right now. The Nocturne getting 2 summoners burned is big. King and Destiny also looking to trade in the bottom lane. The one place that's going still good for Mammoth, but mostly even across the board. This has been a fairly wild early game, considering it's just about harassing and getting small victories.
Yes, it has. Mammoth, though, have to be feeling pretty confident with the way this has started. Early on, only making a bit of a misplay up towards that top has really started this game off on a weird foot. He goes into invade in the jungle. No camps to be found.
It's
just
just
kind of running it.
It's just a matter of priority, though. Like, I don't want to say that what Only did was a bad play, because he made a very good play with the state of the map. He adapted super well. It's more that because he dies, it becomes a potential mistake.
It's
within.
the execution mistake.
Yes.
It's not that the call was wrong.
Yeah, so I just don't want to label it as a bad play in that scenario. You know,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's still a 0 flash Scion has to walk back to lane, potentially misses the minions. The place where they went wrong is that Scion still cleared the full wave before he dies. You know, with the ability to be undead and just orc your way
Pretty
through
strong
the
ability,
minions.
being undead.
I hear it helps.
That helps to not die. That clearing away on the Scuttle Crab. Things have started to quiet down just a little bit. It was just a little back and forth for a minute there.
Well, they spotted him there, I think. They didn't see the layout of the champion. They didn't see the outline of the Nocturne walking through that area, but he was pinged missing. So clearly the ward spots him, and of course Only he's going to be spotted himself.
That's fair. He'll be able to clear away that ward in the mid lane. Of course, Triple can just play to the stronger side of the map and not have to worry about it too much. Getting close to that level 6 for everybody. Only is the one who's a little further down in levels comparatively. Once Babip hits 6, you got to think the paranoia is going to be on, though.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you know that mid lane has no summoners. You hit 6 as fast as you can, you ult the Rise. That means that Only's job now completely shifts around the map. He doesn't want to look towards bottom. Right now, this could be a brawl. Only has to be careful.
Babip doesn't know. Only knows that it's happening. Gets it down low. In for a fight. Babip is lower on the health bar, but he does have a level advantage. Gets the smite down on the red buff. Only's going to chase him through. Claire looking to try and
Rolls
cut the
everywhere,
legs
but
off of this one.
Topoon's here.
There we go. Topoon coming in, and
Oh,
he charges
no.
into the wall. Only gets the sun off, but he's surrounded by the rest of Mammoth, and he goes down again this time. Claire trying to take the portal
Condemn.
out, and he gets stopped up. King's going to get a kill.
The flash condemn from King does secure the kill. Now it's 3-1 in favor of Mammoth Chiefs. In a bit of disarray here. I have to put the spotlight on Only for this, though. His decision to invade the red buff. Babip was on the hard farm. He was looking for that level 6 as soon as possible. And now he gets gifted that little extra stepping stone closer to that point. And that was just a wild choice to invade. Even if Claire has priority and can move first, there's still a level advantage for the Nocturne. And he wins the smite battle for the buff.
Big ups for the Mammoth jungler at the moment. And he's got to be playing with a little more confidence, getting closer and closer to that level 6 mark, but still some questionable decision-making there on the opposite side. 8 minutes into this game, a lot of little plays starting to turn into things.
Well, it adds up a whole lot. You know, you look at the top side, it's a 2-1 Scion suddenly. He was in the correct place at the correct time and will ignore his headbutt into the wall because he still gets the kill and he's still there.
It was a warning shot. It was a zoning ultimate.
Oh, yeah,
Rusty.
no, next time it hits you.
Yeah, I could hit you, but I'm going to headbutt this wall just to scare you. I don't need to hit it.
They absolutely just headbutted a wall.
It's always calculated. That's what I've learned from solo queue. Everything is calculated.
Yeah, that's why I lose every solo queue game.
Yeah.
It's calculated for the
So you
redemption arc, you know?
You want to lose a lot of games so that when you come back and you start winning, it's a big surprise to everybody, and all of a sudden you're just like stacking wins on wins, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, sure.
You got to go low before you can go high, is my point.
You don't, but we'll go with it.
I'm trying to build you up, Rusty. You're the hero of the story.
No, you're not. You're trying to put me down to build me up, Pyro. It's the opposite.
It's still,
I don't
the
need
end
a
result's the
redemption
same.
arc.
Okay, well, you're the one who said it. Maybe you need to build redemption.
God, no. It's items for weak supports.
And Olaf's.
And Lee Sin's, apparently.
Well, yeah, but that's only, I guess that's the Carbon special, right?
And Spooks now.
Yeah, he's joined that illustrious crew. We've had an interesting day here in the OPL.
It'll be an interesting weekend, as
I
it
think
will
so.
be in the LCK. Unfortunately, for those wondering as well, NALCS, or LCS and LEC, formerly EVLCS, will not have this enabled. So it's only us that you'll get for this, and the LCK.
All right, Mountain Dragon picked up. Ooh, this time we might have an early dragon worth fighting for. That'd be the first time we actually have it today. We've had a lot of like Cloud and Mountain Drakes for the most part.
We haven't seen a lot of fighting for dragons as a general statement more than anything else, you know? There's always a world where that's a possibility, but right now these teams seem to be focusing on, first of all, generating gold in the top lane, so they're not looking for the teleport plays, but I would say Mammoth will, because they've got the Scion up there.
Yeah, ooh. Roar the Slayer trying to stop Swiper's back. Instead, Tapoon just walks into it.
Swiper has evolved, so he's able to start farming again. That's why you see the CS values start to change around a bit.
Claire getting chunked again.
I would love to see the gold values if possible as well. It's always interesting to know how the gold differences have shaken up. For Klepto users, it could always be a case of you just find a bunch of slice sacks of gold and miraculously you've got a lead.
I always was wondering about the naming convention on that. Why are they sly sacks? Do they know something that we don't?
I really don't know.
Yeah, I wondered how an inanimate object
You got me
could
thinking
be
through
sly.
the logic.
Yeah. That's one of those things that always bugged me. That's the inconsistency. That's what Riot really needs to
Why
address.
is every Nando's cheeky?
Not every Nando's is cheeky, I found out. It's only the ones that aren't pre-planned.
Well, there you go. Maybe
Is
it's
sly
not planned
equivalent to cheeky?
sacks of gold that
Is
have
that the
been
definition of
slyly
sly?
ransacked.
I mean, slyly acquired, I can understand. But I took it to mean the gold sacks were sly themselves. And I'm like, that
You're
doesn't
going
make
down
sense.
a rabbit hole here, Pyro. The sacks are sly, and that's all you need to know. And we'll leave it at that.
I'm a man of science, Rusty. I need to know answers. I want to know what's going on here. What is going on is Mammoth have a 1,000 gold lead and a dragon. And that's kind of all compound interest from these early plays and in the Chiefs' case, sometimes misplays.
We have seen the Chiefs do this in the past. You know, their last week against the Direwolves, there was a shaky early game. There was a point where I would say the Chiefs were scared. You know, Raze actually came out on Twitter and said that he was a little bit scared in that game. There was moments where you're like, Direwolves could actually win this.
But that's also, it seems to be a lot on Direwolves in general, that they are able to do that.
But
the
that's
Chiefs themselves.
Not just about Direwolves, though, because it's happening again in this game.
That's
right?
fair. That's
There
fair.
is now another deficit that the Chiefs are in, and while it's not super significant of an amount, it's still there. And that also means that in contrast, it's not the slow, methodical Direwolves playing against them. It's Mammoth.
And Mammoth going straight for the karma. Babbitt on the quick paranoia manages to pick up Swiper.
One very good way to deal with that karma is hit level 6 as a Nocturne, have a Scion up there, and just press your R buttons.
Yeah.
Proof in the pudding right there. If you have to go with Themes as a first item and you don't go Iceborne Gauntlet, that's where I actually draw the line here a little bit for Swiper and say you needed that Iceborne Gauntlet sooner for the armor to prevent the Nocturne, who tends to build lethality now as well, from doing the maximum amount of damage. But he does go towards the cheaper option, has the mana sustain there. That's his decision, that's his burden to bear when the physical damage comes barreling down on him.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Nocturne does best. So not only do they get that kill without a whole lot of recourse, they answer, or they follow up with a Rift Herald as well. So Mammoth really controlling the pace of things at the moment. Triple picks up a ward. Claire and Only really not able to respond. And this is the other thing. There's really, there don't seem to be too many safe places to try and make plays if you're on the Chiefs side anyways. Like, what are you going to do? The Zoe's hard to gank.
I mean, the identity of this Chiefs composition is fairly front to back. They've got Claire, who unfortunately didn't go for the teleport, but he is against the Zoe. Doesn't want to get put to sleep and murdered by a Nocturne. So he doesn't have the same luxury as other mid laners could in side laning, you know, when you've got the Karma that starts to group up. So he can still do it. It just means not opposite sides of the map, as that's actually a teleport from
We do have a
Topu.
play coming through. Chiefs have retreated. Destiny going to walk up into melee range, gets the Winter's Bite. Proc on, and it's going to force the fight. And this time it's Mammoth who overstepped their bounds. Claire picks up a kill.
Yeah, numbers disadvantage almost there for Mammoth, and it results in them... Sorry, numbers advantage for Mammoth, and it results in the Chiefs getting a kill. They'll still group up bottom. They've got the Herald. That'll be first turret, so a big influx of gold at the end of this trade still secured. And it's a good reactionary play, but just a step too far there from Destiny.
Yeah, maybe a few steps too far for sure. They do pick up a tower, as you pointed out, so they get first break.
Oh, he
falls,
missed the plating.
and that feels bad.
And
for
they
Swiper.
got it just in time too. Mammoth just make the most optimal play possible with the turret plate timings. Swiper a single auto away from an extra 160 gold, to be a bit salty about that one. And he doesn't even get the turret.
Yep. So Mammoth, you know, not 100% perfect with the one death that they accrued over the course of that, but they do pick up an extension of that gold lead. They keep pushing the envelope here, and it's going to be on Chiefs to try and answer. Dragon will come up in a few seconds, and this is the Infernal Drake. Teams might be keen to fight over this particular one.
Yes, this is definitely a place you would look towards. Scion, no teleport, but we didn't mention this already, but he has Unsealed Spellbook. He has swapped to Exhaust. They're on for the fight.
And they're going to look for it. Braum Ultimate comes up, and it splits the uprights there. Now Destiny forced to hop back. King trying on those Silver Bolt procs, and it's going to be a paranoid Chiefs here. Nearsighted and everything. King's going to pick up Claire, and the fight's starting to go sideways from Chiefs right now. That's the double kill. Looking for the triple. And King is on the board in a big way.
And a rampage now for King as well. Not just 3 kills, but 4 and 0 on the board. An 800 bounty builds up for him. Triple. Also just getting a little snipe there on the backside. Another kill for the Mountain Dragon. Now an Infernal on the back. This is such a big Mammoth team coming into the mid-game.
Oh, yes, it is. And all of a sudden, King has gone from, oh, yeah, that will be a problem, to, oh, yeah, that is a problem.
And it's a big problem now, not later. You know, the Chiefs could have scaled. They could have slowed the pace of this game down. They did when they were against the Dials. But we mentioned this, and I'll say it again. Mammoth aren't a team to go slowly or quietly into the night. They want to fight, and they pick their fight here against the Chiefs, who stand and deliver as well in response. And, you know, they hold everything. Topham gets a 3-man knock-up. The darkness hurts so much in knowing where anyone is. And even though Chiefs have vision of this whole area, vision's denied. And so they walk into Mammoth. They can't tell they're fully losing the fight, and then it's over before they know it. As Triple does get the max range Q there.
I didn't even see that. That was brilliant.
And that was also blind from him. He knew where he fell asleep. He didn't know where he was going to run to. He took the gamble with the flash.
Greatly done. So, Mammoth, big lead now. We'll see that dragon coming up on the indicator in just a moment. They can play with a little more swagger at the moment because they've got control of this map. They're getting a lot more of it, and they can kind of just keep pushing it here. Chiefs, I think, really answered the call to try and take that fight, but, I mean, what a great series of plays, or a great use of ultimates between Babip and King to really kind of front to back that fight themselves.
Absolutely, and, you know, now they can't front to back as successfully anymore, Chiefs. What are you going to do when this Vayne, who will be able to kill carries very effectively,
and tanks,
can also kill tanks very effectively, and most likely faster than yours can? You're relying on big item spikes for your Karma to empower a Kai'Sa. But even then, you think about how a Kai'Sa team fights. Usually dives into the backline, will now have to use the ultimate defensively. You would expect to stay in range of the Karma. And it's an Iceborne Gauntlet coming up second for him. You know, he needs to survive himself. It's not as simple as just build Ardent, Saucy, and rely on your team to carry.
Yeah. Chiefs definitely going to be on the back foot here. We'll see how well they can persevere. But, I mean, this game, if it goes this way in Mammoth's favor, it's going to have some big implications. Mammoth will really kind of start to get some more credit back after what has been a very difficult start for this team. And on the other hand, Chiefs, you know, they've been the de facto strongest team in the OPL for a little bit here, but that would start to change the conversation a bit, especially with Bombers up tomorrow.
If you're an OPL fan and not a Chiefs fan, this is the best case scenario for the ladder. You know, in terms of shake-up, Chiefs play Bombers tomorrow. They can then tie for first place with Chiefs having a head-to-head in record. And it just spices everything up that little bit more. You know, the league then becomes in complete disarray. Mammoth start a climb, potentially. They start taking over other people's, always a scary thought in your head. You have no idea as a Nocturne. They want in.
Again, here we go, looking for the Kai'Sa. King is unstoppable, and the rest of the team ain't doing too bad either. The rest of Mammoth on the death ball, finding 2 quick kills, nearly picking up a 3rd from Ayla. And they just need that mini wave to march in before they can start taking inner turrets.
And Mammoth are just playing so disciplined. They know how they're going to win this game. They see Swiper on a side lane. They know the Kai'Sa is exposed. No summoner spells there. So the opportunity to be aggressive, present on the map. They make the play with no hesitation. And there is no counter from the Chiefs. They just die again. They just lose the fight again. And in complete disarray is our red side Chiefs now.
Yeah, no, it just looks so... It sounds weird to say it, but easy. It's a 1-2 punch from Mammoth where they put on the darkness, they dive in the moment anyone from the Chiefs steps out of line. And I don't even mean, like, out of position. Just the trap can get shut.
There have been posts from Mammoth on social media saying things like, we're angry at the result. You know, like they're hungry to prove everyone that they should still be a contending team. And all of those concerns, all the anger that they've now started to put out seems to have been vented onto the Chiefs in this game. Because it does feel like they're just cleanly walking around the rift, taking whatever they want, and no matter what happens, the Chiefs just cannot respond because they're one step behind or Mammoth are making the play better.
Oh, that's very true. Mammoth are just doing a lot better, and you know maybe they have just channeled their rage. I mean, they've become Sith Lords, and they're just turning it into pure power.
Hey, I'm cool with calling them Sith Lords if Mammoth are cool with being called that.
Yeah, well, I think we would have to ask them. Tell you what, if they win, I interview one of the players. I ask them if it's okay to call them Sith Lords.
They're gonna miss some.
No, they're not gonna understand that. I feel like that probably wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. You're right.
Agreed.
It's more of a Twitter conversation.
Absolutely.
All right, next Dragon's up in a few seconds. Baron's live as well. Mammoth are just gonna get vision though.
Yeah.
I was about to say, do you think they dare? I'm like, They're mostly forcing fights.
I think they dare after they get the dragon first. So first things first, they'll lock that one down. Vayne is in the area, so it'll be a very quick dragon take as well, one would imagine.
Oh
and there
boy.
it goes.
And it's another Infernal too.
So the thing is, you press tab for a second, you look at the items that they've completed. That Vayne has 2. Those 2 items, incredibly good at taking down Baron, and they've got a Mountain Dragon and 2 Infernals.
Yeah, they're running for it here.
So that is the most fragile Baron for Mammoth's composition that you've ever seen.
Chiefs are setting up a death brush here. They're hoping that Mammoth go in and face check for wards. Instead, Destiny, smart move, chucks a Winter's Bite.
They get the blue trinket down as well. They start to clear vision with that blue trinket in the back lines. Chiefs are still going to pick areas, though, that they can try and poke people out. But again, Triple at every turn has placed down a bubble in an area. Good mastery of the champion's kit as well, and knowledge of walls to use it on, preventing them from getting those picks whatsoever. And see a health bar.
Yeah. Also methodical sweeping from Mammoth as well, because they clear away that control ward, and then they sweep anyways and find the regular ward underneath it. And not every team does that.
Smart boys.
Yep.
King has
They
one.
wanted to give that one away,
wanted
but
the
yeah.
refresh.
That's okay. It's not bad to have it on a Nocturne.
No, it's not. The slow is very handy.
All right. So, Mammoth can just run in here and take what they want at the moment.
That little movement there from Babip was almost like a do it. Trying to
Make my day.
taunt them into going for it. He has a Guardian Angel, and the rest of his team was very close in proximity. Now the Baron started. This may get taken down very quick. Now, there was a bit of knowledge there. They saw them in the pit. They didn't see the Baron's health.
They've actually not fully committed to it. Instead, they're looking for the fight, and they just cut through the Chiefs' health bars so easily at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Should be going down. Yes, he is, and so is Claire. No, he walks away, but King's still on the chase right now. Burned all his summoners. I don't think they really need to get that kill. They can just push for it.
But King wants it. He wants the kill if he can. Claire.
Oh my goodness.
He's got
Look
the
at how low his
phase rush.
health
He's
bar
on the
is.
run. This is going to be a very wild
Phase
chase.
sprinting.
King needs to go to Baron. He needs to stop chasing Claire right this second if they want to get the
I
bump.
know that feeling, King. I know that feeling.
Top Moon, they're going to tag. They're not going to find him.
Yeah,
though.
all right. So they get this. Only's up in 5 seconds. It's a little slow Baron start because everyone's got to jump in. But Mammoth earned it, and they will take it.
I mean, the only positive from the Chiefs was the great escape from Claire. Baron locked down. You look at the gold lead just completely exploding as well. Big amount of gold now, almost 10,000 the difference. This is the left and right. We're just waiting for the good night out of Mammoth to finish this one and hit it home. There is nothing that this Kai'Sa can do. Having the worst experience against the Scion. And then Vayne just shreds everyone's health bars. Claire puts on his fancy feet. The ultimate actually does remove any kind of damage hitting you at that moment. He's able to get out barely.
Just barely. I mean, that's... I guess it's a saving grace. Obviously, they can't get in, break the base or anything, but the Baron going in favor of Mammoth, this really starts to extend this big game, and Mammoth are, you know, knocking on about 10,000 gold advantage. They've had every dragon this game. They now have the Baron. I didn't think I'd be saying this about the Chiefs today, but it's Mammoth's game to lose.
It requires more than a single throw for Mammoth to lose this one as well. You know, you look back towards the AV order game. They had a 7k lead, a Baron was stolen, but in this one, Baron is secured. The gold lead is 10,000. I don't think there's anything that the Chiefs can do to get back into this one, barring multiple mistakes from their opponents. Now, the Scion Ultimate, a big sign of respect. No mistakes want to be seen on Summoner's Rift, because all that does is buy time for their opponents, and they don't want to give them anything. Good night.
I don't think they will. All right, somebody's going to get a little sleepy here. Oh, and that's a lot of trouble for that bubble. Only taking a lot of damage. Chunkin, that's the tank that is absorbing all of that. Tower falls, and Mammoth are just an absolute wrecking crew in this game. Led by King, 7, 0, and 3 on the 2-item Vayne.
Just having a terrific showing down in that bottom lane, but it's the rest of the team working around him as well. You know, Topoon 3, 1, and 10 would be the unsung hero of this team. His movements around the Rift have been spectacular. His setups in fights have been phenomenal as well. And I mean, King does reap the rewards, but Topoon's putting in the overtime. Oh,
that's true.
Okay.
Oh boy, yeah. I think he's not the only one either. Triple finding those picks where he can. Another inhibitor falls. And like clockwork, Mammoth are just going to move right on down to the bottom. They've still got an inner to polish off, but Babip is doing a pretty good job of it on his own. And they're just going to shut this one out.
Oh no, it's going to continue. Zoe's at that stage, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, she
the most
hurts.
terrifying creature on the Rift.
Oh, the Vayne's definitely making a pretty terrifying appearance as well, though. Rusty.
Thankfully, walls counter Vayne.
That's true. Walls do counter. She can tumble things, but not walls. But yeah, no inhibs. Super minions in every lane. Baron buff still on. This is looking pretty good for Mammoth.
And to the bitter end, the Chiefs will fight, but it means they have to fight now if they want any chance at all to even get close, you know? And that's not going to happen. It's going to be so difficult for them. They're going to bleed them out if they can, Mammoth. Just suffocate them with minion waves. Chiefs have got to pick their moment. You can see the shields from Karma going on Ayla. That's their only opportunity. Rakan has to go.
He does, but they're losing towers right now. Ayla going in with quickness. He's going to get knocked up, stopped up. King gets the kill on, and it's paranoia time. Mammoth goes forward. The rest of the Chiefs are scattered into the winds, and that is going to be it at 26 minutes. Mammoth charge over Chiefs, handing them their first loss since Order.
And you can see the pop-off from Destiny as well. He knows what that means to the boys. It's a big win for Mammoth. And while it may be a sad defeat for the Chiefs, they're still on top right now at the end of this. Big showing from Mammoth. You can only be impressed by them. That's the team that at the start of the split, that's what you expected to see in week 1.
Yes, we did. Mammoth started to get a lot of credit back for themselves. Last week, obviously, was a must-win against Legacy, but holy moly, I did not expect them to win that game. And it is best of 1, Rusty. Anything can happen on paper, but we've seen more often than not results have kind of gone in the expected way, and that was a big change-up. Mammoth, they put the super back in super team today.
Yeah, certainly was. And that's the thing, you know, I tipped Mammoth last week, and people are like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? But you never know.
You're just ahead of your time.
With a team like Mammoth, right? You always know when you look at their roster, you go down the line, like they can just pull off some craziness at any point. They are superstars in their roles. And this is one of the first times we've really seen that against a good team, where Mammoth have just gone above and beyond, and they had an incredible game.
Well, and everybody kind of did what they needed to do as well. I think that's the key thing. I was talking up a lot on Triple and on King, but the supporting cast played all their roles well.
Yeah, one big takeaway from that as well was the choice of the Nocturne pick. You know, like the one thing that this Spell Thief's Kleptomancy build does is it gives you a lot of wards, and Nocturne's one of the few champions that can dodge vision that's placed in regular spots and deny their opponents from all 12 wards they can get down as well. So it's a big clutch pick for them.
Absolutely. Big ups to Mammoth. Congratulations on that win. Now we will send it back over to the couch to break it down.
We were saying that Mammoth may not know how to feel about themselves after the last couple of weeks. I feel like they must be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, certainly. That's a good victory, right? Their last one was against Legacy. This one over Chiefs, who have been top of the tables, right? They had the head-to-head over Bombers, and that game was just very well played from start to finish, right? Like the draft went well for them, the early game went well for them, and they just cleaned it out.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, anyone that had seen anything behind the scenes, we're kind of waiting for this to start happening because, spoiler alert, like, and we don't talk about them very often, but Mammoth, pretty good scrim team. And to see them show up on stage and, like, actually perform the way that, like, I think they know they can and that every OPL team kind of knows they can as well is a very daunting prospect given the fact that, like, they're currently equal 5th or however you want to put it, like fighting for that last spot into Gauntlet. I think they've just like put the whole league on notice, like in reality, because they've just shaken up everything.
Yeah, certainly have. And it was also like good performances from like areas you don't expect. We throw around the word super team and stuff like that. They are stacked with talent, but Topoon, like you were just screaming his name like the entirety of that game.
Oh, I cannot believe how well he played that. Like, first red buff evade coming down, like he's already like down at the play, like when it starts. He had a bit of a whoopsie, headbutted a wall, didn't matter. They were still able to clean up the back end of that fight. Then the dragon fight where it looks like damage is going everywhere. I think he hit like a 3-man knock-up, then a 2-man knock-up, and then flash for another solo man knock-up. He was just like absolutely everywhere in that game. When there's 7 kills on the map and to have 7 out of 7 kill participation as a top laner, you have played a bloody brilliant like first 15 minutes, and for the youngest member, like the most untried member on that roster, also shows that he's coming leaps and bounds, which, you know, makes a very scary team even scarier.
Because it's also kind of funny to think about, well, Frostmancy first of all is 0-3 for the day, but also the ability to get stuff done like out of lane before Swiper has finished his quest
can't hit him.
Is hilarious. Like all he wants to do is hit the Scion, and then Scion is like roaming bot, like getting a play, setting up King for a good game, stuff like that. Like it's just hilarious how that worked. My earpiece just went boom.
Bummer.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, on that note, let's hear from someone whose earpiece hasn't gone boom. It's King.
No, but that game went boom big time. So, King, you picked up the Vayne, like, you know, champion you're pretty well known for. and you get the 4 kills early on. At that point, did you just go in your head, yeah, we're going to win this game?
It's sort of reminiscent of the grand finals actually, where I picked Vayne, and it's one of those games where I'm like, yeah, we pretty much can't lose. Like we had the Braum, we had the Scion, we had the Vayne. It was so straightforward. I think almost any team in opposition would have taken that.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, so big ups. You managed to kind of really upset the apple cart here in the OPL by knocking off the Chiefs. And for your team that has been struggling up until this last week when you picked up a win against Legacy, that was kind of a must-win, to get a win now against the top of the OPL, how does it feel for your team's confidence?
I feel like we've finally gone over this hurdle where, like, obviously prior to the season starting, Mammoth was supposed to be like the best team, the team to beat, and then going into week 1 and 2, we dropped 2 games. We didn't think we were as good as possible. And then going into week 3 against Chiefs and Direwolves, we were playing not to lose. Like we were playing so scared. Like we watched those games, we were not playing to win.
So, sorry, go ahead.
I think finally we've gone over the hurdle where we just want to play the game. Like we're not scared anymore. We just want to have fun.
So what changed between then and now? Like what had to flip in your minds before you stopped playing not to lose and started playing to do what you just did?
I think it's more the perception, like caring about what other people really thought. Like if you think about it, really, the only opinions that really mattered to like the players is your team, and we're just thinking like, oh, we're letting down like everyone, all the fans. Like we're not the best team, but we just need to care about what we need to do. Like who the people in the house we're playing with, like our teammates. We need to help them, and not just worry about anyone else.
Yeah. Come together as a team, and you guys did just that to take the win. So I guess now, like, do you feel like you're back in form? Is there a lot more work to do, or do you think now you can take on anybody?
We're definitely a lot better than we were in the weeks 2 and 3, but I think, yeah, we're in a good spot to come back, really. But I think first seed is pretty hard to get, and like I'm not trying to get first seed anymore. I'm just trying to win every game I can from now on.
Every game, one game at a time. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
congratulations, King. Back over to the couch to close this out.
Technically, first seed's real easy to get. They just have to win the same amount of games that the Bombers win and then beat the Bombers twice because they've got 2 games left. Then they'll have the head-to-head. In fact, they can lose one more game than the Bombers can if they beat the Bombers twice and get head-to-head. That's super easy.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
That's good maths.
It's a bunch of ladder math, and I'm like, yeah, I believe you, I guess, because I have no
I
idea.
got no way to back that up, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume Jake's telling the truth.
Yeah.
You're not a lying man, but what you are is a chili boy. Because you came bottom of the spicy
You want
tips
to pick
today.
one for me?
Yeah, but you just tanked this, so maybe we should shove a red one inside a green one.
Yeah.
I'll eat a red
Make
one
it
and a green
turducken
one.
chicken
He'll eat a
chili.
red one and a green
I'll
one.
eat 2.
Wait, okay, hold on. I'm picking the green one. Take your pick of the red one. Get the
This
the
one
hottest
pointing at
red
me.
one.
This one pointing.
Okay.
This
So we got
bad
a big green
There we
boy.
go.
So that's a bird's eye and a whatever the heck
And
the other
whatever
one
the
is.
green one is.
Yeah.
All right. There you go,
All
man.
right.
Oh, it's just gone.
And you can run us through the results from today and
Oh.
the schedule for tomorrow.
Oh my lord. Oh, he's dribbling it.
He's putting those.
It's got, okay.
It's right
there you
in
go.
there.
He's, oh.
Oh god, I feel,
I feel bad
I
for
feel like
you.
I need to give you a League of Legends pickup line.
I don't know how you do this.
Got to really masticate them up. All right, bring up the results of the day. First game of the day, it was Gravitas picking up the win over the Direwolves before Avant Gaming smashed Order in the early game. Order came back, turned it into a 48-minute classic, but ultimately fell. Then the Bombers cleaned up Legacy in what was the first shellacking of the season, sub-25-minute victory.
Hey.
And then Mammoth just came in and took care of business the way we hoped they would. Of course, tomorrow's games, if we bring them up on your screen, is going to be Direwolves versus Mammoth as we kick it off before the Chiefs face the Bombers. And what is now not equal top. Bombers hold the spot outright. Yep. Legacy versus Order as the boys from Melbourne look to bounce back. And then Avant Gaming versus Gravitas, 2 of the most informed teams in the league, going to be facing off against each other.
Now here's my thing:
Why are you so good at this?
if I was a criminal and I wanted to
Yeah.
commit a bunch of crimes, I would file off my fingerprints, like I did when I was 14. I feel like he's filed off his taste buds
Yeah.
before this split started.
I can-
'cause he just tanks them.
I can like smell chili smell
Yeah.
coming from you.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like, yeah, what up?
All right.
Hey,
well,
hey, dude.
I mean, look, if, it's the yin and the yang, right? Like Jake and I are basically polar opposites in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. You could just take him. I hear him a sobbing mess when it's my turn, so it just makes for compelling television. That is it for today's OPL. A reminder that we've got Ask Nick Boy's mailbag, whatever I call that thing. Send in your questions. We've already got a stack. There's some good ones, and there's a lot of fizz to win. So send them in to asknickboy@gmail.com, and we will answer them throughout the rest of the split. But I believe starting tomorrow, we are hosting Remember the Beat tonight.
Hey.
We will see you tomorrow for another round of League of Legends. And that's it.
See you later.
Peace.
Peace out.